Are you Neo, or are you Trinity, or maybe Morpheus, or the Oracle, or the Keymaker, or the Architect, or maybe the Merovingian married to a beautiful Persephone? Are you Agent Smith? I'm sure you're not a Sentinel watching. Or let me ask you this. Are you this? Hi, this is Liana, Holistic Intimacy Coach. Welcome back to my channel. Here, I usually help you get your orgasmic intimacy. However, this one is an exceptional series. This is part 2. Part 1, you can watch it here. It's my reaction to the announcement that Mark Zuckerberg rolled out with the Metaverse/Matrix announcement. And in part 1, I presented 3 major stuff that I think we all need to look at. And in part 2, I promised that I would get back to everyone with how I am preparing for the shift that is about to happen. So today I'm going to present from 2 perspectives. One as a consumer, because I also consume a lot of social media and I use technology a lot just for my personal consumption. And then I'm also going to look at what I'm doing as a content creator, because the stuff that is going to happen will affect not just how we engage with social media and technology, but it will also affect content creators. I know it's still a few years away, but because I know that structural and sustainable and enduring change takes years in the making, that's why I'm doing this video now. If you're somebody who can work in advance and be proactive about things, I think this video will help you. That being said, let's get into it. Number 1, I'm going to look at my relationship to technology/social media. I use it, roughly speaking, 50-50. 50, it's for my personal use, for entertainment and connecting with people, talking to people, especially people who are abroad or overseas. So I'm not always looking for productivity, selling something, being efficient at something. I also use it just, as a human being. The other half, I use it for my work. And I use it in 2 ways. One is to document myself or to get motivation. The other one, I use it to create stuff and put stuff out there, so be a resource for others. My programs are all video, absolutely all video, because they are practices, and Somatica, you need to see it. And obviously it's never going to grow old. My work will always be done in person. I'm really looking forward to the time when I'll be able to do events again, because those are one of the most beautiful ways in which I facilitate practices in which everybody grows. That stuff will never grow old. It will never be replaced by anything. That's my personal philosophy, and I 100% relate and resonate with that. How I prepare for the upcoming change. First of all, with the small stuff that I can implement immediately, that's try to move a lot of the stuff that I do through audio. So reduce my sensorial stimulation from technology. Visual stimulation definitely has an effect on my sleep, on my eyesight, sometimes on my nervous system, though also the audio stuff can affect me sometimes. So I also filter, when I go for audios, I filter the kind of sounds, tunes, musics, dialogue, words that is being shared. I definitely do that also, but I try to reduce the video part. Also, what I try to do, because I didn't do this in the past, you know that I have a wolf and I'm due with 3 walks per day, sometimes in the middle of the night. I used to take my phone with me and I would plug in my earbuds and I would listen to something, or if it was during the day, I would speak to somebody, usually friends. I've started to reduce the number of times where I take my phone with me on the wolf walk. So I just stay with my wolf and smell the fresh air, ground myself and all of that. I don't fear the boredom associated with it. This is something that I was inspired also by Joe Rogan. In one of the episodes from his podcast, he shared how if he doesn't allow himself the moments of no inspiration and no gadget connection, when he allows himself that, he gets new ideas, he gets inspiration, but he just has to get used to being bored sometimes. Boredom does have its role. It doesn't mean that he's constantly bored and that he has a boring life. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm allowing myself, just as he said there, some moments of boredom where there's nothing, there's like a void there, because usually when there's a void, a new thing will emerge. Idea, inspiration, solution, it is important. The boredom, as we call it, is also the stuff that happens when you're doing genuine, sheer, authentic meditation. You're not doing it for any purpose. You're just sitting there, quieting yourself and allowing new stuff to come in, because basically that's what happens. New stuff, ideas, inspirations, transformations, something bigger than yourself happens when you reduce all the chatter and all the other stimuli. So that is one way in which I'm preparing myself for the matrix. And last but not least, because I put work out there, and this one is always going to be in the making and in the works for me. From the questions that I had in the beginning, my role, symbolically speaking, in the matrix is that of a tiny Morpheus. And when I say tiny, I mean also physically tiny, but it's not like I'm going to train the next Neo or Trinity out there. I'm helping people not to radically transform the system. I'm helping people to shift their personal life to a place where it actually serves them, and they can get into an empowered place where they can build stuff. Sometimes even amazing things. So in order to do that, do you remember what Morpheus's gift was? Do you? He believed. He believed in Neo long before Neo believed in himself. He believed. And one thing that I do have natively is that I work for the stuff that I believe in. You cannot just put me to work in a place just for the money if I don't believe in the work. I cannot do that. I tried and I was getting really depressed and I wanted to freaking run away from the place, and it happened when I was, I think the last job that I had, I was 24, and I freaked out because I didn't like not just the atmosphere there, but I didn't like what I was made to do. Just fill out these lists of people that were attending an event, and I told myself, no, I don't believe in this. And that's how I decided to fund my environmental NGO, and I only worked on the stuff that I truly believed to the core. And I quit that because there was a lot of concern that my work with sexuality would be a threat to the NGO. Looking back, I don't see how, but hey, this is the mentality that people had back then. Colleagues of mine and also sponsors, so that one is, water under the bridge already. However, I do stick around even when it's tough because I believe. That's why I'm a Morpheus at my core. Tiny Morpheus, but still Morpheus. And the only way that I can prepare myself for the upcoming metaverse/matrix is to do the stuff that I believe in and always follow my belief, my aspiration, my goal, the stuff that makes me happy to do the stuff that I do. My purpose, if you want to call it like that. My mission. Yes. The only practice that I have here is to keep at it even when it's tough. I've already done that with the NGO that I had. I built some really big projects and it wasn't always easy. I really had to work really hard for the stuff that I was building. Sometimes it looked like it wasn't going anywhere, but they all came through and they all broke through. They were big projects here in my country. And I know that the stuff that I'm doing with sexuality is going to get there also. I'm working on developing my own method. I got a few ideas that I need time to put into practice. And no matter what the matrix is going to look like, I need to be a very skilled and adept Morpheus, tap into the matrix without getting lost into it, because I have a purpose and I believe in that purpose. And it won't be my purpose to, I think people will have to choose if they want to be in the matrix or not. I know that I want to be free. That's why I'm spending time away from technology and trying to do my meditations also without technology. And all of my practices, I try to, break away from being guided by others. So I strive to become autonomous and sovereign in the practices that I do. And I encourage everyone to get to that place. Not with everything, obviously. I can't be completely, disconnected from technology. Otherwise, I'm disconnected from where the majority of people are. So I can't be of service to people. But I don't want to allow it to dictate me. So taking time apart from that and then doing the stuff that I truly believe in. That means I'm not going for stuff that is entertaining for me or just for the money. I'm going for stuff that I know that is important, I believe in, and I put my energy into it. Now, the question for everybody here is this, or actually two questions. Number one is, what is your relationship right now to technology and social media? And how do you navigate it? And number two, how do you see yourself? What is the role that you see having in the matrix? And how do you make sure that you're not just this? Unless you want to be this. Because if you remember, there was a character there, I forgot his name. He only wanted to be this because it was comfortable. And he wanted to be somebody important and have a lot of money and be affluent. How do you have you? And how do you prepare for the stuff that is going to be rolled out in a few years? It's not easy, okay? That's why I'm asking this in advance. I'd love to know in the comments. That being said, I will see you tomorrow with, normal videos like usually for our sexuality, for our intimate growth, orgasmic intimacy, and so on. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.